Of course not. Hold on. Hold on. That didn't work. Uh... Okay, now we're on the right scene. Hi, everybody, and welcome.
Hello.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Hi, everybody. This is starting off great. First and foremost, I want to address real quick at the beginning of the stream, that Scriv is having trouble with the captioning software. So, at least for this one, because we don't have time to fix it right now, Scriv might just end up being captionless for this episode.
Gabby will be off the record.
Yeah.
That's dangerous.
That is probably, of everyone who could be off the record in this group, Gabby being off the record is maybe the scariest.
Yeah.
Watch out for Gabby later on gaslighting everybody. Like, no, what are you talking about? I didn't say that. I didn't say that. What are you talking about?
I'll just be
Gaslight,
whispering
gatekeep,
nonsense
Gabby
into
boss.
the microphone.
Oh, good. Incredible.
What? I didn't hide a pistol in my jacket.
What are you talking about? Anyway,
I'm really excited about it.
So no, this is my +5 katana of soul reaping. I ported it over from my last campaign with myself.
All right. Anyway, but we do actually have some announcements at the top of the stream, which we technically should have had the last couple of ones too, but time is weird and pre-recording makes everything very strange. The point is, hey guys, we have merch. So a special limited run of Tomorrow is Dead merch. I was going to put the actual merch somewhere on the screen, but it currently isn't, because of reasons. Anyway, it will be.
Technology.
You'll see it, but you can go to our merch store. You can get an awesome design made by the one and only Bree, who made basically like Tomorrow is Dead, sort of a season 1 collage shirt that has a bunch of little items and Easter eggs from the first season. It's really cool, and y'all should get it. But yeah, so the links for that, if you're watching on Twitch, the links for that will be here somewhere in the, I don't know exactly where it is, but in the comments, Nightbot, check it out. It'll be there. If you're watching this on YouTube, link will be in the description. So, yeah, you can go and check those out. They're very cool, and I'm excited that we have them now. So yeah, the other thing I wanted to say, sort of announcement here, is that, it's not the most fun announcement, but any of you who have, like, tuned in to Ramblemancy over the last several months know that this has been a pretty hard year for Rule of Lore. And we're getting kind of towards the end of this year where we have certain upkeep payments that we need to be making. So if you guys want to help support this stream and this channel, this is the best possible time to be doing that. It would really help us out a lot. And in the continuing of our operations. So if you want to support us, you can subscribe here on Twitch. You can get on our Patreon, where you can get all kinds of cool stuff. And the cool thing is that if you subscribe here on Twitch, some of the and you're in our Discord, some of those Patreon rewards you will just get automatically through our Discord. So, if you would like to support us, those are the best ways to do so. So, it would help us out a lot. If you are watching on YouTube, make sure to like and subscribe this video, because that also helps us a ton. So thank you so much, everybody. Those are, I think, our big announcements. And yeah, that's it. That's all we got. Everybody ready for this episode? No. Okay. Why do I even ask?
No. What are you talking about?
No.
Well, since everybody seems to be very ready and on top of it, I'm just going to go ahead and jump in. We'll see you in a second. And welcome back. Right. So, when we left off... Hold on, let me actually... When we left off... I guess I should say, previously on Tomorrow is Dead. The crew here of survivors, along with several other survivors from their haven, took to the river to escape the wreckage of their most recent haven, and the horde that swarmed it. Taking to the river, they eventually found themselves in a small town where they stopped to scavenge supplies. During this time on the river, one of their members, Demian Vergara, he was injured in the escape attempt from the haven, and it was determined that without proper medical supplies and attention, he would likely either not make it or slow them down. And so the search for medical supplies began, as well as the search for food and provisions. There were a few close calls in the town, but ultimately the crew managed to get away with meager supplies, on top of also discovering the remains of a base of some kind, and the aftermath of a battle that clearly the living had not won. After giving the town a quick once-over and heading back on the river, the crew decided to continue heading up the river towards a slightly larger town, the slightly larger town of Salida. Upon arriving at the town, Demian's condition had worsened to the point where immediate intervention was necessary. When they reached Salida, some scouting reported that there was a group, seemingly, of survivors that had holed up in a fortified airstrip on the edge of town. And the group decided to split up, leaving Casey behind to tend the sick and injured, while Frankie and Demian's companion and friend Nick went into the town to search for any kind of medical supplies that might still be around. Meanwhile, Maisel, Gabby, and Kai, their nurse, went to the airstrip to see if they could negotiate for supplies or aid of any kind. Upon arriving, meeting the leader of the faction holed up there, a man named Seth McCabe, who gave Maisel some kind of weird vibes, in spite of the fact that he invited them in to talk over and negotiate over food and refreshments. While that was happening, Frankie and Nick managed to, on a completely wild, random chance, discover a bag of medical supplies and medicine, but their celebration was cut short almost immediately as a group of individuals surrounded them, pointing weapons at them, claiming that the medicine was theirs and demanding that they turn it over. And that is where we left off. It is also
oh god
where we begin.
We split the party and see what happens.
Frankie,
oh
no. You are staring down the barrel of a shotgun. You and Nick kind of like both sort of standing, kind of caught unawares. Frankie just sort of holding this bag of medicine. The man in front of you, probably not a whole lot older than you, Frankie, just sort of like stares you down, and just says, "I ain't gonna ask again. Give us our shit."
How many are there?
Just a quick glance around shows that there's I think there's two. two of them that are in your kind of like immediate sort of having weapons on you, and you can see a third one a little further off who is holding a pistol, but is holding it kind of pointed down, like at the ready.
So there's 4?
There's 3.
Or 5? There's 3 total.
Yeah.
Oh. And there is a... Can I look around? Do I have time to look maybe... Oh, we're surrounded by houses, right?
Yeah, you are kind of in like a sort of small suburban area.
Dope. Dope, 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 dope. Oh. Hello there. You see, I think we're gonna have a problem because this is my shit.
Oh god.
He just sort of like stares at you. He's like, "You got a fucking death wish, man?" It's like, "Give us our fucking medicine."
I'm not really the negotiating type, but I'm really good at finding things. And I think I could work something out with you. We're all trying to survive out here, man.
Okay.
Oh boy,
All
this
right,
is not my
Frankie.
strong suit, but I'm gonna have fun with it.
Come on, Frankie.
Both of the talkers are elsewhere.
Hey, I'm gonna try this out, and then we're gonna go with the other plan after that.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
shit.
All right. So, Frankie, I need
Yes.
you to make. I think I'm gonna need you to make a leadership roll,
Oh,
So just straight empathy.
if that's what it is for you, which I sort of assume it is.
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
And is there stress applied to this?
Yes, absolutely.
I would
There's-
assume-
There's
I would assume
you have
so.
1 stress die.
Stress. I think we're
Well,
stressed.
I actually got. Listen, empathy is not my strong suit at all, but I did get a 6.
Okay.
Ooh.
I got a 5, a 6, and on my stress die a 3.
Okay. Okay.
Ooh.
For those
Okay.
who don't know, that means that nothing stressful's happened to me yet.
No stress. No stress at all. Totally zen.
He just sort of stands there. You can see there's a moment of hesitation. He seems pretty unwilling to like let you. He seems like he's not going to let you get away with that medicine. But there is sort of a you see like a brief moment of hesitation as he sort of his eyes flick to his companion and then back to you. He goes, "Look, we've been scavenging all day. Everything that we got, we put in that mailbox to keep it safe while we keep searching the surrounding houses. So,
Ooh. Is he? I'm assuming is he being honest? I think he is. Freeman is, but Frankie's looking to see if he's.
go. I'll say go ahead and give me another empathy roll, but you don't need to add stress to this one. You don't need to roll your stress die.
And also, while I'm doing this, do we know what medicine Damien needs?
Actually, I changed my mind.
specifically?
Sorry,
Okay.
you should roll your stress die. Sorry.
No worries.
And what Demian needs is antibiotics primarily, because he's basically
Gotcha.
his injury has gotten like infected.
I got a 6.
Damn.
Okay. All right. Okay. So
Oh, taking the picture. Photographic
Whoops.
evidence.
Almost took a selfie. That's not what I'm looking for.
terrible angle. Terrible angle for that.
Yeah, very very not flattering.
That's very like. What did you say, sweetie? Like.
Okay. So you can tell that he definitely like this. He seems to be telling the truth about that. As he's the end of his barrel sort of lowers a little, just a little. I need to. Okay,
This is
yeah. He is just sort of like looking at you and says, "Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go back to our base, and we're gonna talk this over with our leader." I can't let you leave with that medicine. Not without his say-so. So that's what we're gonna do.
Oh, you have a base?
He nods. Says, yeah.
Frankie just rolls his eyes. Of course. We just
says,
need antibiotics.
Says,
I don't even
yeah?
need this whole bag of stuff.
Says, yeah, well, so do we. Says, now, we're gonna go to our base, but says, before we go, I'm gonna have to take your weapons.
See,
Nick just says, "Hey, fuck you, man." And he like
Nick is saying what we're all thinking.
the tip of the barrel comes back up. He says, "We can do this one of two ways. See, I don't have to do shit right now. I could splatter you all right here, take the medicine and go, and I'll sleep like a fucking baby tonight. Or you can give us your weapons and we'll go talk this shit out."
Oh my god.
I like point in the direction. I like point in the direction of like where we came from, that the place where we left Maisel and Gabby. I point in that direction as like, is that direction of your base?
You can see that like he hesitates, and that you can see just like a brief flash of like concern, and then he goes, "Yeah, old airstrip."
Like it's hard to miss. Come on,
It's
well,
well,
we'll have a flashing neon sign.
You see, half of our group is already kind of dealing with that, and I came out here purposefully to like avoid the whole base situation. I'm not a big Haven fan. I think they're kind of. I just do a lot better out here, man. They're representing the group, and I'm hoping to just not go in there. Frankie's voice shakes just a little bit.
Yeah. Nick just sort of looks at you, and he says, "Man, we can't leave without this shit. Demian needs it."
But if our group is in there, maybe they're negotiating something.
Yeah, and maybe these fuckers take this medicine as soon as we hand it over, and it ends up being not part of the deal.
Run. Just run.
Frankie is going to look at is going to look at the shotgun. Is going to Yep. And is going to attack him. And is going to toss the bag of medicine to... Is Nick armed? Is he... he's
Nick
armed right now?
has something. I don't remember what he has.
He's got something? It's
Yeah.
all what you all wanted.
He has
It's not what I wanted. It's not what I wanted, but it's a thing that happened.
Well, I didn't say anything.
Nick
I'm off
has-
the record.
Nick has a revolver. Nick has a revolver and a machete, but like
Oh,
currently,
this is gonna be...
yeah.
We're not attacking, I guess. I'm gonna dash. I'm gonna try to dash for it, because I think attacking at this isn't a lot less of a good chance for me, and
Okay.
being more agile is better.
So
Parkour.
And I'm just trying to avoid a fight, and I'm going to run if I can. We'll see if that works first.
So
It's like in
to
Dying
be
Light.
clear, what you're trying to do is like push past this guy and make a run for it.
I'm gonna have to do it that way, yeah,
Okay.
You're right.
Okay, cool. So then go ahead and give me
Holding the
mobility.
medicine like a football ball. Okay, gotcha.
Go ahead and give me mobility.
it is.
Nick is also going to do... Actually, real quick...
This is really making my nerves
wanna- Actually, before you do that, I want to see...
Hmm.
Hold on, I gotta
Okay,
make
I have
sure.
to. I'm definitely stressed out.
Okay, I'm I'm gonna have Nick make a roll here real quick to see if he understands what exactly you're about to do, and see if he reacts accordingly.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Okay.
You gotta be like the unspoken signal.
Yeah. So you, Frankie, like turn and look at Nick, and you go, okay, and then you. Rush, go ahead and give me, like, you and Nick move at the same moment, so go ahead and give me a mobility roll.
Perfect.
This is gonna... Alright.
Come on, man, get those 6s.
Okay, stress, agility, mobility, plus that. And we're going for it. And, oh, I did get a 6. I got, a 5, a 6, 2, 2, and a 1.
Okay.
The stress die is a 2.
Cool. With that, Frankie, you... let me actually have Nick do the same.
Boy. Damn. Made some choices today, y'all. I made some choices.
You chose violence.
Well,
it was the right choice.
Tried not to.
There is also... Hold on, sorry. Nick can do this real quick.
Tried not to. We tried not to.
So, Frankie, you have one success, right? Okay. You like sort of almost make a move like you're about to hand the medicine over, and you, as soon as the barrel of the shotgun goes down, you just shove forward, just like sort of bullying into the guy and just run, just kind of pushing past him and just going. As you take off, you see Nick also runs, trying to follow you. You see as he starts to go, you're able to go. Nick starts to move, and like weapons fire starts going, and Nick, instead of like following you, has to turn around and run back to like behind like an old like rusted out car, and has to like duck back behind it. He like looks over at you, Frankie. He says, "Just go, get the medicine."
Oh, bud.
Coming back for you. As I keep running forward, though.
Yeah. All right. Okay. It is at this moment that these guys are going to. There's more shots there. 1, 2.
Yeah.
That one's definitely cocked. Okay. Frankie, I need you to make mobility real quick for me.
Sure.
Another mobility.
Agility's 3 plus mobility, stress.
Did Frankie ever play high school football?
Some kind of sport.
Making it to the end
a little
zone,
bit,
man.
Maybe. So I didn't get any successes, but on my stress die I rolled a 6.
Okay.
What does that mean again?
What? No, that's still a success. Yeah.
Oh, it is. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. It's been a bit.
Yep. So you got one success. So you, as you are running, you can feel like one of the bullets from behind you, the guy with the handgun, fires, and it like zips your cheek real quick. It just sort of,
Ooh,
you can
excellent.
feel that like hot, like sting across your cheek as you just keep running. You're sort of ducking between buildings and managing to like break line of sight. As you just run out of there, you can hear the sound of weapons fire exchanging behind you, as you just book it. You continue running and running, Frankie, and sort of everything sort of kind of becomes kind of a blur for a bit, until like you don't know exactly how long it is later, but you kind of find yourself more or less free and clear as far as you can tell, as you sort of huddle in basically the remains of like an old kind of like burned out utility shed. It's just sort of like sitting there for a moment, sort of like getting taking some deep breaths and sort of like catching your breath, looking around. It seems like you have managed to break off their pursuit.
Nonetheless,
bag of medicine still in hand.
Good. I'm still going to remove one of my, because I only 3 bottles I think left of moonshine. I have 3 bottles left. So one of those bottles, I'm going to uncork it, and if I have any spare cloth, I'm just going to prep up like a I don't know if moonshine. Well, it doesn't matter. I'm going to prep up to what I think is going to be a Molotov of sorts.
Okay, sounds
I'm just
good.
going to stuff the cloth in there and just kind of shake it around in my pocket a little bit, and then just have it ready, and then
Sure. Okay, sounds good. It is at this point, Frankie. Again, your sort of adrenaline took over, and you were just running. You don't know how long it's been since you heard it last, but the weapons fire has definitely ceased. And with that, we'll cut back over to Maisel and Gabby.
Oh, but what about our bro?
Yeah, where's Nick? Oh god.
Where is Nick?
So worried.
Thumb twiddling by the river intensifies.
So, Maisel and Gabby, you're kind of led through this this airstrip. You can see as you're sort of moving a bunch of like a combination of like there's like all the warehouses, like garages and whatever, where they would like normally keep like private aircraft and stuff like that. That in some of them the bay doors are open, and you can see where like one of them has like an old like most of a small plane that has been like, you can see that people have been like pulling stuff off of it and whatnot, and like over time having sort of taking it apart. But for the most part, the ones that you pass that are open have been totally converted into either living spaces or like workshop type stuff. And so as you're kind of going through these spaces, you're kind of led to sort of the what must have once been the sort of central administration building of this whole thing, and like control, where you can see like the control tower. Not much of a tower, mostly just a slightly raised section of this very blocky building, with a mostly 360 panoramic sort of windows that kind of go around the whole thing up at the top. You're led as Seth is sort of walking you through this space. He actually is kind of like talking to you and like pointing out some of these things and just saying like, when we got here, this whole place, that whole warehouse there was full of the dead. We had a hell of a time cleaning them out. We had to mostly let them out few at a time. It was a whole operation. Took several days letting a few of them out, taking them down as they came out, closing the doors behind them, taking them in small batches. It was a whole hell of a task, but a few days of doing that non-stop, we managed to clear them all out. Stripped off some of the sidings. There used to be 3 more of those there, and there. We mostly stripped off the siding, and that's what we've been using for our walls. And he's basically like just sort of like pointing out this sort of stuff as you're sort of walking through. Eventually you come to a space that is this outdoor space that is sort of more like a patio almost. And if it wasn't for the fact that it was made from like primarily like industrial looking materials, it would almost look very, it almost look very nice. But it's basically sort of like an outdoor seating area, where there's a single small dining table with some chairs arrayed around it, and there is probably the most food that you've seen in one place in a while, just sort of on it. As he sort of gestures and says, "Please, take a seat," and he settles in across from you.
Okay.
He said, "Help yourselves."
Sweet. Would this be this walk and like kind of like surveying the area and looking at all of the people? Would that be enough for me to do my like scout dynamics check?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so go ahead and
yeah.
What is it that you're doing here?
It's one of my talents. It's called Watchful. You may use Scout to learn the dynamics in a group of people and the opportunities and risks therein.
Okay.
You need to spend some time with them. In this way, you may learn both regular and secret issues.
Yeah, and like you get the sense that as you're being like led through this, it's not in like a direct from here to there path, but more in just sort of like he like is literally like showing you around. So you get a little bit of time to be able to kind of like. So yeah, go ahead and give me.
I don't think I have stress.
I don't think so. No.
Okay. Let's go. That is 2 successes.
Okay. Oh, we lost Screeve.
Oh no!
Screeve, no!
Screeve!
I think it's very.
We're
funny
all on the wrong.
It looks like John is in the GM spot right now.
Look at me.
I knew that was.
I am the GM now.
I knew that was coming.
All right, 2 successes.
Okay.
Out of 6 dice. Let's go.
I am going to leave this like this and not fix anything for the time being because I sort of can't. Yeah, you said 2 successes. So with those 2 successes, you are sort of walking through the space, and hi.
Welcome back.
Honey, I'm back. It was the zombies chewing on the Wi-Fi, I'm sure.
Yeah. So with those 2 successes, as you're walking through this space, you're kind of getting. As you're walking through this place, you can see people working on a variety of tasks. Most of them look like they are in the middle of construction projects, or like just sort of fixing the walls, things like that, patching the walls, or in sort of attending like an armory, basically, maintaining weaponry, and it looks like protective gear and stuff like that. You also walk past a small fleet of vehicles that are also currently, many of them are being maintained as you're walking by. There's like some pickup trucks, there's like a car, like a sedan or 2, and then you actually do see what looks like one like military, like oh god, what am I, like sorry, my brain isn't working right now. Like a basically like a Jeep type thing. My brain is not
like a Humvee.
Thank you, Jesus Christ! I don't know why that wasn't. Those words were not in my brain. Yes, like a Humvee. That one looks like it's in pretty bad shape. It looks like they are in the process of trying to like repair it. It is up on blocks and yeah. But there's also like weirdly like an old like shuttle bus looking thing, like one of those like smaller, like, you know, like the airport shuttles.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like that, where they're like sort of this very sort of compact sort of airport shuttle looking thing that has like bits of corrugated metal that have been like bolted onto the sides of it. And like iron mesh that is sort of over the windows. Yeah, so you can see most of the tasks as you're going through this. There are very few, you don't notice any like farms or plots or things like that. However, at one point you do walk past what is clearly like their sort of pantry, and it is pretty well stocked.
Okay.
But it doesn't look like anything that they've done has been towards the like nothing towards cultivation.
Sure.
Yeah. You also don't notice like you don't notice a lot of everybody seems to be engaged in some sort of active task to like either in fortification or in weapons or in maintenance of vehicles and facilities and things like that. You don't notice a whole lot of just like people doing things. Everyone in the camp is like decently like well armed. At the very least, they have a sidearm, and some sort of like melee weapon. Very, very few of them have like larger armaments.
Sure.
But just from what you're looking, it doesn't look like these are people who are, however they're surviving, it doesn't appear that they are like growing anything. They aren't. Yeah.
Like it's akin to like, I don't know. It's like prepper survivalist military kinda.
A little.
Like,
yeah.
but not
I'm confused by this because there would be only so much they can salvage from other places.
Right.
And with this much like buildup of weapons, I can't help but wonder, are they fucking with other settlements? Like, this feels like
I feel like
hostility.
It's like it feels less like people are like prepping against the zombies and prepping to raid other people.
Yeah. That's how it feels.
Yeah. Regardless, as you are, you sort of settle in across from this guy, he sort of reaches over and just, like, just grabs a, basically what looks like a whole, like, preserved peach, from off of one of the plates. Like, looks like, you know how, like, they're canned whole peaches? He just, like, grabs one of those off a plate and just sort of, like, pops it into his mouth and just says, so, we were gonna, I don't like to waste a lot of time, so, you need things, we need things, let's see if we can make a deal.
Alright. Well, thank you so much for, entertaining this, first off. Secondly, the main thing we need, I'm just gonna put it out there, is antibiotics. We don't need much other than, that. We've been looking for medicine in every, settlement we found, and this is the first one where we could actually maybe talk to someone about it instead of, going after the dead. So, thought we'd try.
Alright, so medicine mostly is what you're looking for. Is that about right?
Yeah.
He kind of like gives you all kind of a once over. He says, "Looks like maybe some provisions wouldn't go amiss."
I mean, if you're willing to be generous, there is there's nothing that we couldn't use. But
yeah, ain't that the way of things now? So, well, really, it just kind of depends on what you're able to offer. So,
is there anything you're looking for?
Well, we could always use more weapons. I'm sure, as you saw coming through this place, mostly what we've got are small arms and close combat weaponry, but we don't have anything much in the way of, kind of like nods towards, like, back towards the direction of the gate where you'd left your sort of assault rifle and like things like that. So, nothing like that. I mean, we have some, but not many. We can always use more. It's hard to keep a place like this safe for long without those kinds of protective measures.
Understandable. I will say that I did say our situation was that we don't have much in the way of weapons either. We just escaped from our haven that's been overrun. But, I have, information of where that haven used to be. If you ever want to go, maybe get some things from there after some time when the dead have found other places.
Well, now that is interesting. And you aren't interested in going back and reclaiming some of your own stuff?
I mean, if the opportunity ever arises, that'd be something useful, but it wasn't a bad operation, and, well, we're not quite really in the space to have that on our radar yet. So.
Alright, 1 second. I'm gonna have a thing here. Okay. He gives you sort of a long, kind of searching look, Maisel.
Mm-hmm.
And then he just sort of like a slow sort of smile spreads across his face. Says, okay. Alright. Go ahead and give me I think go ahead and give me a... I don't know if I would consider this necessarily a leadership role.
Okay.
I think that I might just have you make a straight empathy roll here.
Okay. So I don't get to add anything, just empathy?
This is, I mean, being able to negotiate is a pretty significant leadership skill, though.
Yeah.
It
but,
is.
I mean, it's...
And they've got the walkie-talkie.
I was gonna say, she's so official. She's got a walkie-talkie.
Right?
Okay, you know what?
Better than walking around with a clipboard.
Okay. Okay, yes. We'll call it a leadership role.
Sure, thank you.
Yeah.
Alright, plus my walkie-talkie.
I'm mad at you.
plus
your
the
character's
walkie-talkie.
mad at me. Your character's mad at me.
Yes,
You're not
yes.
mad at me.
I'm trying to. I probably didn't even sit at the table because I'm so uncomfortable. But I'm still trying to like make sure I've got her back. You know. I'm guessing there's probably someone in the doorway.
Yeah.
I dropped something.
Our
I
exit.
dropped something on
I
the
figured.
ground. If it's good, I'll keep it. Hold on.
Is it good? Is it good?
Not good. I'll roll another.
The
Still
yes.
not good. I got one success.
One success. Okay. Gabby, there's definitely as you're looking, there's definitely like not in the immediate area, but like close enough that they could intervene if something happened. And they are sort of like standing. They're making no secret of the fact that they're watching you. They're just sort of.
I am loaded like a spring.
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything. I'm not saying anything. But it's that kind of like the quiet of the pressure building, just to fucking go off.
Yeah. So
Don't like it here.
as that sort of smile spreads across his face, he nods. He says, "Well, you know, actually, you know what, Maisel? Before I finish that thought, I do actually want you to make additionally just a straight empathy roll."
Okay. I can do that.
You got it. You got it. You got it. You empathetic land mermaid, you.
One success.
Okay. He says to you, "All right. Well, I think that information is certainly worth something." And he goes, "I think we can deal." You get the sense, Maisel, that whatever it is that he's referring to, the information that he's referring to isn't necessarily the information that you intended to give him.
Okay.
So, he basically what I'm saying is that you get the sense that he got something else out of what you just told him.
Okay.
But he nods, says, "Okay. Well, I'm gonna level with you. As far as antibiotics go, we're a little short on that ourselves. I do have some people in the field looking for some more. We got a good lead on some supplies out in the city, and they're out looking for it right now. Last we heard, they'd found something promising, so we'll when they should be back soon. In the meantime, you're welcome to stay. but when they come back, we'll look over what they found, and if anything in there is what you need, we can talk then about how best to divide it.
Okay.
And he says, in the meantime, please make yourselves at home. And he kind of gestures to like the food on the table. As he is talking, actually, that's happening. I am gonna cut back to the river.
Okay.
Where Casey,
rolling down the river.
you are. What is Casey doing right now?
I think Casey is probably sitting next to Sergeant Hall.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just jittery. Like, she's probably in the middle of saying something to the effect of, I really, like, this is, out of everything, I think this is the part that I hate the most, is the waiting.
Yeah, you're telling me. This has never really been my area. I'm always more comfortable when I'm doing something.
Yeah, I just, like, you know, maybe 10 minutes from now they walk out of those woods and they're all fine. And maybe 3 minutes from now we hear gunshots. And maybe the dead come walking out of it. Like, I hate it. I hate it. Who knows who comes back? And there's just no way to know other than to sit here.
She nods. Says, yeah. Well, look. I'm ready. The moment anything looks wrong, we take our shit, we take our boats, we put them back in the river, and we get the hell downstream and get as close as we can to where they all went. She says, and the moment, she says, right now, we're as secure as we can be given the circumstances. It's not a bad spot to be sitting and waiting. She says, I'm going to do another perimeter.
I'll be here thinking about campaigns. I'm probably not going to get a run.
She shakes her head. It's a little bit amused, but mostly just like, there's like just this like just edge of like derision, but she doesn't say anything about that. She just sort of like gets up and like goes out to like make the perimeter. But sitting not too far away from you, you see the 17-year-old Anvil, who's just sort of sitting there. She's got like a pocket knife, and she is currently sitting there just like whittling a stick like into a sharpened point. And Casey, there's just this brief moment that like her sitting there in her like leather jacket, like her studded leather jacket, and like ripped up jeans, with the pocket knife just sort of whittling. There's a brief moment where, like, looking at her, you see somebody else.
Oh god.
And as she just sort of like looks up at you, she kind of like follows Hall as she leaves, and then kind of looks back at you and just says, "Are you sure we're gonna be okay here?"
Yeah. We'll be fine. Like Hall said, if anything happens, we'll have enough time to get everybody in the boats. We float downriver, it'll be okay. We've certainly camped in worse spots before.
I know I have. She kind of smiles, and then you see that smile sort of like freeze for a second, and then it just sort of fades, and she just nods. And it's in this moment, Casey, that like it occurs to you. So, Kai and Hall have sort of they've adopted Anvil in as much as Anvil will let them. She's sort of like the feral cat a little bit, who like comes and goes as she pleases, but like still comes back to the same place, right? So like, but it's in this moment that you can see those like this sort of like forehead creases as she is like sort of frowning in concern. And you kind of put the pieces together a little bit because Kai is out, one of the people who is out.
Right. So like, what did you do for fun before like all this happened?
She looks at you and just goes, I don't know.
I'm not gonna go first because my answer is really nerdy, and you will spend the rest of this conversation making fun of me once I tell you. So like,
It's like she just shrugs. Says, I don't know, not a lot. I went to any kind of show. I went to a lot of shows. I mean, I was pretty young but like I went to shows, and if I could get in, and if I couldn't, I would usually find a way.
that somehow does not surprise me at all.
She's like, I don't know. All my friends were really into like skateboarding, so I'd hang out at the park sometimes with them.
Yeah. You remind me a bit of one of my friends, to be honest. From, before time.
Yeah?
Yeah, no, she,
Was she cool?
Oh, eminently. She was way too cool for the rest of us, if I'm being perfectly honest.
She kind of like grins at that a little bit. She says, yeah, me too.
Yeah, I've been waiting for your run at running the whole show, because like your platform is like the whole vibe that you've got going on, killer platform in the zombie apocalypse, very punk rock, and like
She said, she just sort of like chuckles at that, and then there's just like a little bit of like, like back and forth as she like tells you a little bit about like she would have been a freshman in high school when this happened. When this all went down, like moving into being a freshman, so she's telling you a little bit about that, and you see Hall comes back not that long later, and it's just sort of like standing by the entrance to this bay, and kind of glances over a couple of times, as seeing the two of you talking. And then, all of a sudden, Casey, you notice out of the corner of your eye, Hall tenses, and just sort of perks up. And the moment you notice that, then you hear it, the sound of distant gunfire. Hall looks at you, Casey, and just there's this sort of knowing look that passes between you as everybody else sort of like hears it too and starts looking around. And we're going to cut back to to Maisel and Gabby, as you also hear distant gunfire. And Seth sort of stops mid sentence and just kind of like looks over at one of the guards nearby, and you hear Seth also has a walkie-talkie, and you hear it go, shh. Ian, you there? What's going on? There's no response for a moment, and then just, Ian, come in, damn it. The fuck is happening? Is that you out there? There's another couple moments, and then you hear, yeah, it's us. Ran into a couple of assholes out here trying to take our shit. We got one, the other one got away. With our shit. Fuck. Seth just sort of like looks at you two and just pulls up the walkie-talkie and says, what happened to the one you got? And it says, we got him here. He's in bad shape, but he's alive. Says, all right. I want you to bring him here. We'll find out Well, bring him here and we'll see. Yes, sir. Hooks the walkie-talkie back down and says, well, we've hit a bit of a snag, you see, as that was the team that was out looking for medicine. Seems somebody took it right out from under him. So, we might have an issue as far as our negotiations. Now, you mentioned you had a team out there scavenging the city, right?
I did.
Well, you run into anyone else out there while you were out?
Well, I was out? No.
Well, sure you heard, having them bring the one they got here, and we'll talk to him, see what's what.
All right.
We'll cut to Frankie. Frankie, you are what are you doing right now?
I'm gonna see if I don't know, what's in the shed? Just since I'm hunkered down here for like a moment, I'll take a brief look around to see if there's anything
Just give me a
useful
quick,
tucked away.
Yeah, give me a scout. Give me a scout
do a little
roll.
scavenge.
Gotcha. Scout roll coming right up. Scout roll. Wit scout. Wit. Can I add my +2 from my drive, which is I am a survivor +2.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this becomes an awful lot more, a lot more dice.
Hell yeah.
5, 7, 8, 9 dice. Am I stress?
Yeah.
Still from the
Yep.
thing, I'm assuming. Here I go. Okay, and wouldn't you know it, not a single 6.
Okay. Yeah. There's not much left in this kind of burned out old shed. Like, it's mostly still standing, but like you can see that there was definitely a fire inside of it that burned the inside out. Anything useful that was left in there was probably consumed by whatever fire lit here. There's just enough of it still standing to be like a decent sort of shelter for the moment. Sort of hiding you from sight, but there's not a whole lot in here.
Well, that's kind of what I figured.
Yeah.
It was meant to be.
Yeah.
Meant to be. This shed was like picked over probably already.
Oh yeah.
I think what Frankie's gonna do is going to just kind of proceed back towards where our camp is.
Okay.
With the medicine.
Okay.
And just making my way carefully that way.
Okay. As you are making your way that back towards camp, you sort of arrive in sort of like this small sort of outlying community where you all kind of like posted up, and as you kind of you step out into a street, and immediately you feel like as you sort of walk around the corner of a building, you immediately feel the barrel of a weapon pressed to your temple, and as you kind of like stop and you like look, you just hear shit, and then you just look and you see Hall holding her sidearm to your temple. She goes, "Fuck! I thought you were." She holsters it and she says, "The hell happened out there?"
Well, it's not the first time I had a gun pointed at my face today. That's what I'll say. Yes, Nick and I went out scouting in the town that way. Another half the group went to try to negotiate at some airstrip base. Looks really shady to me. I found medicine, but I had to leave Nick behind because we got in a bit of a scuffle. You probably heard that.
Yeah, everything from
you told me to run
for miles around probably heard that shit.
I think it might be time to start making a hasty exit, but hold off because we still have friends in the base trying to negotiate, and I think I may have just screwed that up.
Fuck. Alright, come on. get that medicine to Casey. She can get to work on Demian. Let's go.
Absolutely. I'm right behind you.
We will cut back to... Yeah, what's up?
Real quick, sorry. It's just... As Frankie, when he was leaving the shed, not before, because pure adrenaline, not thinking of anything except getting the hell out of there. But when he's making his way from the shed, Frankie's going to be picking, like, collecting, like, plant material, grass. He's going to be touching some grass.
Okay.
I'm going to collect plant material. Yep.
Sounds good. All right.
Nature is healing.
I have a purpose. But yes, also that.
Yeah, so we'll cut back to the base as Maisel and Gabby, you're standing next to McCabe as, like, the three of you are by the front gate where you first entered. There's a lot more armed presence here than there was. And
I'm gonna make a comment on that when you're done.
yeah, as the gates open, you can see there's a group of people coming up towards you, sort of like three people.
No.
They're like sort of half carrying, half dragging somebody who has like just like a sack over their head. And yeah, what were you saying, Scrib?
As we were waiting there, Gabby will probably make the offhand comment. It sure looks like you don't need more guns.
He says, "Yeah, well, this is enough to deter other people, not so much for the hordes that rove around here sometimes."
That's the sense I'm getting. People, not zombies, right?
He kind of gives you like a lingering look, Gabby, and he nods, says, "Yeah, that's right." As you see this group of people come up, the ones carrying the other sort of like, as they approach, they sort of kind of throw him kind of roughly on the ground, and one of them, like a couple of them, look like they've been clipped by weapons fire. Like one of them like has like strips of cloth that are like bound around the shoulder, like that are just like blood stained, and the one on the ground doesn't look like he's been shot, but looks like he's been looks disheveled and whatever. And as they reach down and they pull the bag off of his head, you all see you recognize Nick, but barely, because his face is covered in bruises and like just bloodied, and like one eye is already starting to swell.
We have Kai with us still.
Yeah.
I have a quick question about the like watchful. They didn't have any Did they have any medical like place?
Not that you necessarily saw, but just due to like references that certain comments that Seth made as he was like leading you through this place, it sounds like they do have some sort of like medical personnel, but you know, but you didn't see them as you were going. He takes a step forward and just sort of kneels down next to Nick, who is just sort of like on the ground. Says, "Well," says, I hear you and your friend took something that belongs to me." And he says, "Go to hell." He says, "Nah, you see, that's not how this works." He says, "I understand it's been a stressful day, stressful situation. He says, but you took some medicine that my people could use, and actually may have put in jeopardy certain arrangements that we have with our new friends here." He kind of like gestures to you guys. Nick looks over, and Nick is not the most subtle of individuals, so like the recognition and surprise is immediately obvious on his face. And Seth sort of nods. He stands up. We weren't going to
avoid that.
Yeah, stands up, says, "Well, that's what I was afraid of." Says, "So, he one of yours then, I take it?"
Regrettably, yes.
Says,
Regrettably, because you brutalized him.
Says, he kind of like looks over. He says, "That's true. That's true." Ian kind of gestures to one of the ones who just came in. About a young man roughly about your age. Sort of steps up. Says, "Ian, what the hell happened out there?" Ian says, "Caught this guy and one other. They found our stash, and they grabbed it and we're about to make off with it, and right as we were coming back. We stopped him, started talking, thought we were gonna work something out. Then the other one rushes us, takes our shit and runs. Start firing, pin this one down, clipped a couple of us. And then we finally managed to surround him, tackle him, and, well, he put up a fight." Seth nods. He says, all right. He says, "Sounds to me like your people were the instigators of this particular altercation. Now, I am, in the interest of our partnership, willing to overlook this, but I think you can agree that right now it might be best that we terminate our negotiations."
And what does that entail on your end, then? Will you let us go?
Kind of looks, says, "Sure, you can go. Your weapons, they stay."
Hell no. Are you really going to say that this guy beaten up was an instigator when you've got 3 armed to the teeth people out there? You're going to send us back out there when clearly there are violent people going around. Undefended? Would you allow someone to do that to your people?
No, I probably wouldn't. But, the alternative is that we, look, we can part as friends, you a little lighter on a few guns. Or we make an example of your man right here, right now.
One gun. At least let me take one back. For some sort of defense. You can take one, your pick.
You seem to be under the impression that this is a negotiation. That part's done. We're past that now.
And why are you giving us the illusion of choice?
Everybody's always got a choice. Question is, are you going to make the right one? Or are you going to make me do something I don't want to do?
I think he wants to do it. I'm not saying that to him.
Yeah.
I'm just very skeptical about this slimy ass mother.
While Gabby is laying into this guy, can I take a look around all of the people around and the 2 other guys? Like, I just want to get a vibe of the people and how they react to him and how they react to us. Just like the vibe of everybody else. Like, are they like completely 100% lockstep with him? Are they like really, really worried about the medicine not being there? Like, I'm trying to, like, he is really hard to read, but I'm curious if I can read anything off of like other people.
Let's see. Go ahead and give me. I think I am going to call this a leadership. So go ahead and give me a leadership roll here.
Oh, come on. Can we call this somehow assisted, since I'm kind of putting the spotlight on him and giving people something to react to?
Yeah, I'd say that's fair. So you go ahead and take another die, Bree.
Okay. Okay, and then the leader. So it's one more die. Okay, one more die. Do 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 do.
Walkie-talkie? Walkie-talkie?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Do I have stress, by the way?
At the moment, no.
Okay.
You're teetering on the razor's edge of it, but no.
Then
I feel like I got stress.
Then it's 2 successes. It's two successes.
Okay. So looking
I'm
around,
out of all of these fucking dice.
looking around, you see, for the most part, you can see that people they look pretty upset about the fact that some of their people were attacked out in the field, and their shit was taken. You see a couple who, there's literally like 1 or 2 of them that look a little like they don't look super happy about the state of Nick here on the ground. For the most part, the people who are here assembled look like they are willing to do basically whatever Seth says. You'll also note additionally that like the I'll with that extra success, what I'll give you is that if things, like, it's pretty clear to Maisel, just sort of glancing around, that if things turn for the worst here, there's basically no way that you and Gabby and Kai and Nick are gonna make it out the gate.
Yeah.
But I will also say that nearby you do the vehicle fleet is relatively nearby. So like there's basically no way you'll make it out the gate, but it doesn't look like that direction looks a little clearer if that is what like ends up happening. There might be a chance of like grabbing a vehicle and running if it comes to that.
That's what I was thinking. And what are the state of the weapons that are they like full AKs or are they like just handguns?
There's like 1 or 2 assault rifles in the whole assembled group. Mostly you see like handguns.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I'd still like to go back and say, take the AR, but please leave me the bolt action. Just leave me one of them, just so we can get back. There are still walkers out there. We will get out of your hair. Because to be honest, you taking every form of defense away from us right now and sending us out there really makes me feel that you're not going to leave us alone.
He smiles.
I'll make a roll for it if I need to. I don't care.
Actually, yeah, I'm going to have you do that. Although, at this point now, I think we are at a point where both of you will take a point of stress. And Gabby,
fine.
I need you to make... in this case, it will just be an empathy roll. And the reason for that is because explicitly only one person in the group can make leadership roles. So
yeah, it's okay. I mean, everything I have under empathy is 0.
Okay. So it would just be that anyway.
Empathy is just 2.
Yeah. So
and a stress.
Which
you got it. That's what
does your drive help you here at all?
My drive. I will find a way to solve this. Yeah.
I think that'll work. So you can use that to add 2 more dice.
I am solution oriented.
Yep.
Good.
2 more?
Yeah.
2 more with the drive.
Yep.
Okay, so with the stress, that gives me 5.
Okay.
How far away is Nick from us, just in case?
Nick is basically right at your feet. He's basically like right at your feet. Yeah.
Woo.
I'm also gonna do something real quick.
I'm so scared. Oh fuck. Okay. 4 on the stress. I got 2 6s and 2 3s.
Okay. I
can point the camera to it for evidence.
No, that's fine.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's very funny. Sorry, I just got a ridiculous roll. Okay, so
what does that mean?
It's ridiculously bad, right? Ridiculously bad. Like 1s across the board.
No.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
Come on.
So
hang on. 2 successes.
He like, as you say this, Gabby, he smiles again in that kind of like smile that doesn't quite reach his eyes. And he just sort of says, "You're pretty smart." He says, "All right. Fair's fair." He says, "You grab the bolt action. You walk out of here." Gabby, with that additional success, there is a distinctly non-zero chance that this guy is planning on shooting you all in the back the moment you walk out of the gates.
Yeah.
Um,
And I say, in addition to that, so you're saying we get Nick, we get our bold action, we walk out of the gates, and into the woods.
he nods.
Can I roll insight?
I don't think you need to.
I know.
Yeah. Says, fair's fair.
All right. Do I remember what the outside of this place looks like?
Like, what do you mean? Like, in terms of...
Like, if we walk out, like, where, like, to have him shoot us, where is there, like, a place to, like, flank off to the sides to know, and then, like, just, like...
Not really, because basically immediately outside of the gates to either side, there's, like, basically, like, barricades that have been piled up of, like, all kinds of things that have been, like, erected, basically blocking off, like, the streets that are sort of immediately outside of the airstrip, and there's sort of, like, walled area on the airstrip. That go, so basically there is like a long and wide avenue for like probably at least a block that you would be just like fully in a kill zone. As you know, having come this way, there are also people posted up in buildings outside.
How quickly can we run when we get out there? Just asking.
Not fast
in
enough
general, 'cause
to avoid
No.
weapons fire.
Can we run faster than 600 yards really, really quickly?
Probably
Because
not.
that's the range of an AR-15. I just googled it.
Yeah, probably not.
Crap.
As there's like no
Not with an
cover
injured
out
Nick.
there. Yeah, and not with Nick. I will say though that Gabby, it occurs to you as you are like looking at this guy in the eye, you happen to glance past him looking at Maisel, and you realize that Kai isn't standing there anymore, and you're not sure when the last time that she was standing there was. Hence that really, really good roll that I got.
Yes! Fuck yeah, Kai!
Okay, that was
Fuck
Kai.
yeah, Kai!
Okay.
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 And I was gonna say how far from the weapons depot that we had to like throw our stuff in. How far away is the?
You'd have to go through most of the base to get there.
Great. And how close to that is the shuttle bus?
Not close. Not at all.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Just checking. Just checking.
Yeah. It's funny that you mentioned the shuttle bus, though, because as you sort of, like, are looking around, kind of making a show of, like, noting all of the, like, making a show of, like, looking at the people who are immediately his people, you kind of subtly glance past that, and you catch a glimpse of Kai just sort of, like, going into the shuttle bus.
Oh my god.
I'm so glad my people are as smart as I am. They're just
bunch of wily bastards, aren't we? Oh my god, Kai.
Here is sort of a moment of truth situation, because sooner or later he's gonna notice that Kai isn't there anymore. So we're gonna find out whether it's sooner or later.
Can we just? We just want to keep his attention.
I wanted to keep him talking.
Oh, that you are. You are.
Yeah.
And I'm slowly making Nick come closer to us, like as close to as possible, and like getting.
At this point,
we need
I think
to check on Nick anyway. Like
by
see
this
if
point,
he's okay.
by this point, I think you've managed to like get Nick. He's sort of like crawled up to sort of just like he's like on his knees at this point now instead of just like on his back like he was.
Well, like support him as we stand up.
He managed, now that he's not being like dragged, you know, he's like he's beat up but like he can stand, and he's like sort of leaning on Gabby a little bit.
Yep, I got him.
Yeah. Seth goes, okay.
I got him on the left side.
He sort of,
I
he
need
goes,
my shooting hand.
he goes, Harper. And you see one of the women over by the gate, like, looks at him, says, she reaches over and grabs the bolt action rifle and walks over and just sort of like tosses it to you, Gabby.
Catch. Make sure that the ammo is actually in
Yeah,
there.
it is. Yeah, it's basically it's exactly how it was when you.
I wouldn't put it past him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm losing the AR though. Fuck. That's fine.
Do I know where Gabby would have hidden their other gun on their person?
You know where I would typically have
that's
that.
fair.
Yes, it's gonna be in the back. There's like a little behind me between the belt and the
Cool.
It's down
Just,
my pants.
just in case. Just in case for me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
goes,
you know.
Pardon my reach and.
Okay. Says, you got your man. You got your gun. And he goes, and he hesitates, and you can see as he like starts looking around, because as he immediately seems to notice the absence of one of you, and he says, "Where?"
And our nurse.
He like immediately like goes to like reach for a weapon, and it is at this moment that Kai's second success becomes apparent as she rolled 2 6s.
Fuck yeah.
There is an explosion from the direction of the like shuttles as one of the vehicles just
A woman after my own heart.
the shuttle bus just starts charging forward, like just screeching forward as people like see it and dive out of the way as it comes up.
I'm going to take the gun out of Gabby's back.
Yep.
Yep.
As you grab the gun from Gabby's back, you notice that one of like Gabby, you still had grenades, right?
Yep.
Yeah, you notice that one of them is gone.
What?
Kai.
Wait, what do you mean?
Kai.
I lifted one of your grenades and
Oh.
off of
My God.
Kai, I could kiss you.
Yeah,
Okay,
same.
so
Okay.
I had 3. That means there's still 2 in there.
Yes.
That was the explosion. Oh, I'm so proud.
Yep. Kai rolled 2 6s on that
God.
stealth to get the hell out of there.
So good. So good.
So as the bus just sort of screeches to a halt, it screeches to a stop as like even Seth is forced to like sort of jump out of the way of the vehicle. The door opens and Kai is standing goes, "Get in!"
Yeah,
we're in.
I
Yeah.
drove Gabby and everyone, and then just kind of like do like just a quick like
Yeah.
like a quick like fire of like
So-
everything like at the ground, like don't come here.
Yeah. So Maisel, here's what I'm gonna ask you to do. I'm gonna ask you to make a ranged combat roll.
Cool.
This is basically
Ooh.
what I'm sort of counting this as basically a duel for the purposes of this situation, but essentially it's you just getting off shots as many shots as you can, basically, while they are trying to do the same. So I'm counting this as a duel and not a brawl situation. So
Hell yeah.
go ahead and give me. I'm also technically, for the purposes of this, counting you as being in cover.
Yeah, I mean,
As you're like getting into the vehicle at this moment. So
Yeah.
like, yeah. So go ahead and
I need
make
more
that.
anxiety snacks for this.
And remember
Oh,
that
and
you
I
do have a
also have
stress.
stress.
You also stress die.
Yeah. 1 success.
Okay. So, let me just double check that this is how this works because I believe wasn't this the. Oh no. Hold on, I didn't go up far enough. Okay. So, okay, so you fire Maisel, and you watch as the bullet hits Seth in the side, just catches him in the side, and goes, "Ugh!" And he like falls. As you fire, you kind of run, ducking as like weapons fire, like bullets starts like raining around you. You can hear them hitting the pavement around you, ricocheting off the bus as you run inside. And Kai... Jesus, Kai. As soon as you're in, she doesn't even really wait for the door to the shuttle to close. She just floors it and just goes towards the gates, which are at this point in the process of closing a little too late, as she goes into them, sort of breaking them open a little bit. As the tires screech, you can hear weapons fire. One of the windows of the bus just shatters inwards as Kai drives this van forward down this long stretch, this sort of kill zone that they've set up in front of the gate. Weapons fire coming from both sides, and then suddenly you are free of this thing, just driving down this way. And you drive away. Kai just sort of goes,
Kai.
As soon as you're away, she goes, whew.
I just go up and just give Kai like the biggest hug while they're in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god!
They go,
Kai, you're fucking brilliant. You saved us.
they go, I took one of your grenades, by the way.
That's fine. You used it well. Take them anytime you want.
Nick just sort of settles down in one of the seats and slumps down. He says, I'm sorry. We were talking, but they were gonna bring us, and they were maybe not gonna bring the medicine. They wanted us to follow them, but they wanted us to give them our weapons, and before they let us.
You did nothing wrong. Nothing at all. They're shady as fuck. You did the right thing. Do you know if Freeman's still alive too?
Freeman.
We're glad you are.
Frankie.
I hope so.
You know
because-
Frankie. You know Frankie Man is still alive.
he says, I don't know. Last I saw him, he was running between buildings. I got pinned down, and I don't know what happened.
I had no way to know what was going on our end either.
Yeah. As you are driving down the road back, kind of in the direction of your camp, the bus, as you're approaching the camp, the bus suddenly screeches to a halt, to a stop, and you all feel yourselves sort of unceremoniously sort of like, and Kai goes, "Holy shit!" As you like follow her gaze, looking out the front of the windshield, you see Casey and Hall and Frankie just sort of standing kind of next to the road, and Kai opens the door to the bus and kind of pulls up a little bit closer.
Hey, you got a new ride.
Kai is incredible. All credit to Kai. Seriously.
Question though. Or statement rather. Maybe we don't leave this bus too close to the camp and we need to move.
Yeah.
Quickly. Because they'll be able to track us with this thing. And they've got more vehicles, I think. Kai, did you blow them up? I don't know. This wasn't their only one.
I mean, I put it next to one of their... I found some barrels of fuel that I set it next to. I saw at least one of their vehicles go up. I don't know. They'll be sorting out that mess for a bit. Like one of their utility sheds collapsed on another one. I don't know.
We can't stay another night here though. I really don't think we can.
Hall
No.
says if they've got vehicles, we're not gonna be able to outrun them on the water either. I think this is our best bet.
Okay, yeah, I see your point there. How are we on fuel?
Kai looks down, goes, half tank. Should be enough to get us somewhere.
Get as far as we can.
What can we do to make this look different?
Right now, not that much.
Alright.
I think we just need to move and get everyone on here.
Yeah. Bring as much as you can. They'll probably be looking for us
It's a hell
within
of
the
a
next few hours.
hell of a lot more room on the bus than there is in, I think, all of our combined boats. So I think everybody will
Yeah.
be adjusting to having too much space. Actually, I'm gonna go get everybody. Okay.
Okay.
Well, actually, you could just get in the. Actually, I'll just say you just get it in the bus and go back to like drive the rest of the way.
Yeah.
That
and,
works too.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mhm.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and say then that as you you get up to everyone else, you kind of explain the situation that it's sort of urgent. You get your supplies loaded up. I would say that you even have enough to like get one of your boats sort of strapped to the roof of
That's
the bus.
cool.
Mhm, mhm.
I was gonna ask about that.
Yeah, you can get one of them.
Can we de-inflate the inflatable raft?
Yeah, the inflatable raft can be de-inflated for sure. Yeah, so it can be deflated. So,
We have 2 boats.
yeah. With that though, you get everybody loaded up, and literally like an hour later, less even, you are on the road,
Oh my god.
trying to take whatever route doesn't take you through Salida itself, to continue on your way. And I think that's where we're gonna take our break. So, yeah, we're gonna take our a short break here, and we will be right back. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everybody. I noticed after we went to break that basically everybody's captions broke, so I don't know what it's doing, y'all. I'm so sorry. I also don't often notice when it breaks on my end until after the fact. So apologies for the captions being wildly inconsistent. We're gonna do our best, but it's a hard thing to constantly be managing. So we'll do our best to keep them consistent. Okay, let's jump back in. When we left off, the group had narrowly escaped from a base full of disreputable folks, stealing a bus, a small shuttle bus, in the process, and incapacitating some of their vehicles as well. After having loaded up, everyone from all the survivors, they loaded up into the bus and set out on their way. I think we're going to cut to a little while later after things have settled down. You guys have managed to push out. It's sort of, there was a couple of hours of very stressful, like, trying to get around Salida in the most, like, roundabout way possible so that you could avoid any patrols that they might have sent out after you. But you have finally gotten out the other side and have continued on your way. And lucky for you, you have wildly shortened your travel time to the point where you will most likely reach...
It was all worth it. It was
You'll
worth
most
it.
likely reach your destination tonight instead of days from now. Continuing down the road, I'm going to say that Kai is going to relinquish the wheel to I'm going to say to Rain, actually. So Rain is currently driving the bus. So that Kai can help Casey with not only administering antibiotics to Demian, but also seeing to Nick's injuries. Yes.
Nick.
So that kind of leaves the rest of you. What are y'all doing?
Oh,
Frankie.
Oh.
You reckless psychopath. I can't believe you pulled it off. That's amazing. How fast did you run, man?
Don't know. Fast enough, apparently. It was luck. That was purely luck and good timing.
I'm glad everyone survived this.
Yeah, me too. I don't want to jinx it, but I always make it. Yeah.
It was.
Oh yeah. Tell me, did you run into a bunch of psychopaths or something?
Pretty much.
Well, fucking base of them, led by the biggest psycho of them all.
We will need to keep our eyes peeled.
Oh yeah. There's we're gonna have to make quite a lot of. Once we set up base, we're gonna have to make sure that we keep an eye on the entry point to Salida, because they're either going to follow us this way or they're going to go back to our old base. They're definitely raiders.
Yeah. Maisel?
Yeah. Yes?
I'm glad we went in there together. You handled it well.
I felt like it could have been better, but I appreciate that. I mean...
You got us out alive. Well, technically, Kai got us out alive, but it could have been a lot worse, a lot faster.
Currently administering antibiotics, turns back, goes, thank you. And Shaw, who's like listening to this
I will
exchange,
worship the ground you walk on. From
Shaw just cracks a grin and just shakes his head. He says, I still can't believe you all managed to not only get the medicine, but also a vehicle.
Well, I will say that if Frankie hadn't pulled off that incredibly dangerous and reckless, but productive stunt, we wouldn't have gotten a vehicle. So,
Frankie,
Yeah.
were you in track? I don't think I remember seeing you run a 100-meter sprint the entire time we were in high school.
Well, I did do a lot of running. I did some running in school. I was going to join the military, remember? So I was trying to get in shape for that.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
That's fair. Still impressive.
Adrenaline.
Don't do that as just like a baseline though.
Won't make any promises.
Okay. Like I
It
get
worked,
it definitely worked, but it also could have worked if it maybe could have. I guess I don't know. He might have shot us anyways. But
From everything that you've said, it sounds like he was frankly pretty hell-bent on killing all of us and taking our stuff. So,
Yeah, he was just looking for a reason.
yeah.
Even
That
a
whole-
weak one.
it sounds like that whole conversation, he was looking for a good reason to not let you go and then come gun as many of us down as he could.
And now that bastard has my rifle.
Yeah, well,
Well-
you've still got the bolt action.
Shaw just nods and says, well, if this place that we're heading to is half of what I think it is, there will probably be weapons there. These prepper cults were always pretty big on stockpiling shit
They
like
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
There's
I
also
would not-
probably going to be a lot of zombies.
Yeah, well, there is that, but yeah. I have no follow-up to that.
Yeah.
I mean, at least they're
Weapons would have been nice.
at least they're predictable. You know.
Yes.
Well, most of
At
them
least
are.
I don't have to. At least I don't have to negotiate our lives.
Shaw says most of them are predictable, and he kind of gives the four of you like a meaningful look.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, exceptions aside, tend to be pretty unilateral in their desire.
A thing that would kind of occur to you at this point, like not occur to you, but like something that you've thought about a lot recently, that sort of concern in the back of your mind, is that when you first like escaped with Shaw in the helicopter, you ran into not only your regular run-of-the-mill shamblers, but there were also the ones that have
Fast
been,
ones.
yeah, they've come to be known as
Oh,
ferals.
those ones.
Amongst your group, occasional
yeah.
Casey probably has referred to them as ghouls before, but
Casey has D&D terminology for everything.
yeah,
Mhm.
most people refer to them as ferals. Although your group, in particular, has kind of taken on calling them ghouls. The ones
Yeah.
with sort of elongated limbs that run on all fours.
Zombies. Ghouls.
Yeah.
Beetlejuice.
Ghouls and Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice.
And
say it again.
There it is 3 times. It happened.
No, we just no.
This comes to
I
the
only said
question
it
part of the
twice.
game.
So I only
Yeah.
said
Oh no,
Collectively, it was
Captain's
said 3
broken off
times.
the record.
I don't know if that's. I don't know if it if he has like a freaking group
I don't
that's like if
fucking
all
know.
3 of them have to say it once.
Anyway,
Let's move
we're not here to
past it.
discuss the mechanics of that particular property. Anyway, but yeah, but the thing is, since then, you really haven't seen any others than your regular sort of run-of-the-mill shamblers. I like the occasional, like other people have had experiences with them. It's not like they're just gone, but other people know about them and have experienced them, but you haven't seen them for like the last time anyone that you were immediately associated with saw one was probably fully a year ago.
And we didn't see any in our base attack.
No.
Okay.
Nope.
Just checking.
Yeah.
Weird.
But yeah. Shaw says, well, now that we've kind of got a little bit of air under us, can we talk about what we're gonna do when we get there?
I think that's a good plan. I mean, I don't know what it looks. We don't know what it looks like, so making sure we are able to get as much of a perimeter before we even venture in is
Yeah.
the best thing.
He kind of says, Frankie, can I have the map? He takes it and sort of spreads it open and says, I was looking at this earlier, and notice right over here, there's this ridge. I think if we can, there's just a whole bunch of it was sort of where there was a trailhead there, and so there's like a parking area and everything. If we can get up there, it's not too far of a walk, but far enough away that if anything bad happens, our people will be safe. I'd say this is a good this ridge up here is a good location for staging any sort of scouting, anything like that. So as soon as we get there, I think we make for this trailhead.
Hopefully plenty of like natural resources to camouflage
Well, the nice
the
thing
shuttle a bit as well.
Yeah, and there are fresh water sources around too, which is, I assume, one of the things that made this place attractive for these folks building this here. So we should be good on that front too. Small community up here, not too far away. Maybe worth trying to check to see if we can scavenge anything.
Leadville or Aspen?
Leadville, yeah.
Leadville? Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Salita's a hard no.
Yeah,
no.
I'm not.
Oh, no.
It sounds from what
we're
you
not
guys have
going
said,
back
it
then.
sounds like they've pretty well stripped that place clean anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. If we ever want to go back and see anything at our old base, we are steering clear of Salita.
Probably better to take the 9 on the way back instead of the way that we came.
Yeah. 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Or when we feel confident, go and steal whatever shit they have in Salita.
Let's give it some time, though.
I personally would like a few more RPGs before we attempt that.
Yeah.
100%.
Maybe
That's
some
why-
C4.
Feeling confident, as many explosives as we can. Just, you know, there was a few of them that didn't look like they liked what was going on, so there's that. But that's about as much as I got. Everyone else seemed to be pretty much in lockstep with this guy, and that sucks.
Yeah.
I was looking for any angle I could to get any of these people doing anything different.
They're surviving, though. He's clearly ensuring their survival to some degree.
I know.
If there's not infighting, if there's not someone else to challenge him, why would they question it?
I know.
Well,
Just don't think about it and put one foot in front of the other, I guess.
yeah, that's a problem for after we get set up. Right now, we got to look to our own survival.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a
And
good
anything we can do to make this shuttle look different, look more as something that's a little less of a conspicuous design.
Yeah. I think once we get ourselves set up, the next priority, I think, will be finding paint, whatever we can, to just this. They did make some attempts at fortifying this thing and armoring it a little bit, but I think we could do better. So we'll look into
I mean,
that.
if we can
once
just find a big fucking tarp to cover it with.
that might have to suffice in the interim. All right, I'll look to this. I'm gonna see if I can get a little bit of shut eye, so that by the time we get there, as far as I can tell, assuming the road conditions are good, we should make it there by nightfall. We can set up camp and worry about scouting in the morning.
All right. Sounds good to me.
He kind of folds up the map and hands it back to you, Frankie, and then sort of makes his way towards the back of the bus, where he just sort of like slips down. You can see he just like kind of pulls his coat around him and just sort of like tries to
Immediately
tries to close his eyes.
out.
Yeah.
Are we in motion still?
Yeah.
I'm assuming? Good.
Mhm.
Cool.
Yep.
Rain is driving?
Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha. That's right. I remember now.
You've got Frankie. You've still got my binos.
Yeah. Here, thank you, by the way. Very, very helpful.
No, that's okay. Well, I was gonna say, if you want, we can take turns keeping watch.
Sounds good. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'll try to get some rest, but
I'll take first watch then. When we get to that point, I guess. Is this one of those buses that has like the little emergency hatch on the top?
It probably does. I'd say it's yeah, sure. I don't actually know
Sure.
really what those like those short little kind of shuttle buses really look like, but I'd say it's possible. I think legally they have to have some sort of like emergency sort of thing.
Yeah.
So they might not in reality they might not actually have one of those on top. It might be like one of the window ones instead. But
Okay,
I think
that's fine.
it's totally valid to like assume that this one in particular does. If not one that was originally part of it, then one that was made, you know.
yeah, easily. Mhm.
Yeah.
Just
So-
cut a hole in the top.
I'd like
Exactly, yeah.
to sit up there.
Okay.
Oh, but before I sit up there,
Yeah.
Frankie, can you train my bro in some cardio and sprinting? Hey Zeke, you're gonna learn how to run.
Zeke looks up.
Right now?
Oh, do I have
No,
to?
not right now, not on the bus. Do you want to live?
Okay.
The answer should be yes.
Yeah. Okay. And he kind of like looks over at you, Frankie, and kind of like smiles unconvincingly.
I'm gonna give him a big hug and do the embarrassing ruffle the hair thing.
Sorry, remind me, how old is Zeke again?
Zeke is a few years younger than me. He's 13.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was like, he's 13, right? Because
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
the youngest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Big hug, big old obnoxiously loud smooch on the forehead. Then I'm gonna climb up to the roof.
Okay. Casey, Ron comes up to you and goes, "All right, I think maybe I have this walkie. I think it's not gonna be great until we can get some. This is mostly a patch job, but I think I've mostly got it fixed here." Says, as far as my kind of portable set, I think it seems to be in functioning order. It just mostly needs high ground, somewhere where it can get a good signal.
Okay. Shaw was talking about a ridge nearby where we might do some staging, like
That
for the
would be
bunker
a
that we're looking for.
that would be a good place to try it. I think that'd be great. Yeah.
See if there's still Top 40 playing anywhere.
I despised the stuff before, but I think now I would, if I heard anything playing over the radio, I would be overjoyed.
It's. I think Casey's sort of like taken aback for a minute. It's like, yeah, I think I'd welcome just about anything at this point. I don't know when the last time I actually just like listened to music was. Maybe like some campfire songs back at the old place. Like,
Well, I'll see if I can find some for you. I mean, these survivalist types, they had to have stored away some amount of culture, right? I mean,
right, somewhere among all of the cans of baked beans, there has to be like some old Journey CDs or something, right?
exactly. That would be excellent. I would love that. I mean, if their whole plan,
Baked beans and Journey.
if
There's
their
our
whole,
culture.
if their whole plan was to rebuild after whatever they thought was coming, surely they would have kept some.
Right.
Well,
You know why? Gabby calls down from the roof.
he kind of looks up.
Because they don't stop believing.
I think there's
They
genuinely
hold
like
on
just
to the feeling.
just like people just cracking up and just sort of like laughing, and it's sort of one of those like final moments of like releasing tension and like yeah.
Gabby's not a good singer.
Yeah. I think that turns into probably some like actual attempts at like singing Journey and like people. Yeah,
Or
yeah,
it always done.
it always does.
At
what's-
some point, it devolves into a Sweet Caroline. Ba, ba, ba.
It's the party
how's-
bus.
what's going through Maisel's head right now?
Ever since it got, no one's actively engaging Maisel. Maisel's really not having a good time. Mainly, anytime it gets quiet, not quiet for anyone else, but anyone's not like seeking out Maisel to solve a problem. It's really Maisel's kind of Maisel's mind wanders to what could have been done better, what I could have done better, how any sort of scenario I could have made that nothing bad would have happened. We wouldn't have had to get out by the skin of our teeth. And they're like, well, yeah, we got a bus out of it, and it's good, and everything's good. But now these people could hunt us down, and that's great. And we've made an enemy, and
Yeah. There is, I think, as you think back over, sort of turning over what things could have happened differently, what you could have done better and differently, there is, I think you are surprised by the ferocity of this thought as it occurs to you, but there is a moment as you're thinking back over that where you sort of cemented firmly in your memory is that moment where Seth McCabe realized that Kai wasn't present, and your hand went to the grip of Gabby's pistol, where there's a version of that scenario that plays out very clearly in your mind where you just pulled the weapon and fired and ended him right then and there. And I think it's a little bit disturbing to Maisel that there is most of your mind feels like that would have been the better outcome.
100%. Yeah. That would have... Yep.
And there's a certain amount of, like... There's a mixture, I think, of... I should have done this. And much quieter, a part of Maisel that, more often than not, kind of hovers below your sort of conscious thoughts, that is somewhat horrified that that's the thought that you have, but it's distant and quiet.
Yeah.
All right.
Would Casey, I think, notice Maisel's distress?
Maybe, but I will say this much: this kind of quiet, distant, sort of lost in thought has kind of been Maisel's baseline for a while. So
Yeah.
This is kind of not out of the ordinary.
Yeah, I'm not, like, buzzing trying to fix a bunch of things like I was for the past, like, 4 days since this happened. I guess to all intents and purposes, like, just kind of sitting there looking out the window. Could be relaxing, could be thinking haunting thoughts. You don't
Fair
know.
enough.
This is in a lot of ways weirdly a return to normal, as compared to the last several days. This is like more like Maisel before the fall. It's at least closer to it than the last several days have been.
Maisel before the fall was worse. And no one knows.
I think, like, after the round of singing finishes, Casey probably just notices that kind of return to pensiveness, and I think doesn't say anything, but just slips into the seat on the bus next to her and slips a hand into hers.
No.
Just gives it a little squeeze, and then she'll just stay there, probably half napping while Maisel does whatever she's doing.
Just staring out the window, thinking terrible thoughts and, you know, playing yesterday's or today's, whatever, the last 24 hours, what she could have done better, what things she could have done, how easy and probably better for everyone it would have been if she just ended Seth's life then and there. And then also thinking about all of the choices that she made, the non-choices that it seems that she's been making that has resulted in a lot of different things since the university fell.
Cool. What about, let's see, how's Gabby feeling in this moment?
Although it was nice to momentarily break the tension with a little bit of music and song. Gabby is not a people person, but it was, you know, there is some feeling and emotion and empathy in there, and we just keep going from one harrowing experience to another. Gabby's probably not going to sleep again tonight because there are people hunting us now. And it's not just zombies who are passively hunting. Now it's murder hobos. A whole clan of murder hobos. Gabby still feels distant from the group. But today's experience, in spite of all the danger, felt a little bit more like the stupid shit we got into in the past. And even though it's probably better that we wouldn't have done all that, I feel like the group is a little bit tighter than it was before the latest death-defying experience. But still not quite at ease. Definitely not at ease. At ease is not even close to what Gabby is feeling, but still wanting a little bit of time in their own head.
Yeah. All of that.
Really wishing she had also shot the guy.
Yeah. All of that and more just sort of like passing through your head as you are driving, sort of like looking around, passing small clumps of the like shamblers who just sort of like slowly turn as you pass and sort of start slightly kind of trying to shamble after the bus before it kind of disappears over the next ridge. How is Frankie feeling in this moment after everything that has just happened?
I think Frankie feels pretty alive, like just and exhausted, and sometimes is kind of drifting in and out of sleep, and his feeling kind of drifts in and out of like thinking in real life, and then he's thinking in his dreams about how it happened, and the scenarios play out differently in his sleep, like he doesn't make it or everyone gets shot, and then it kind of he's just running in the woods, running endlessly through like a field of grass and then through the trees. I feel like he's kind of thinking about everything, but it's also just like in and out of sleep, and he's not sure if his thoughts are like thoughts he's having in waking or if he's dreaming.
As you're sort of running out of these thoughts in one of your more kind of lucid moments, you kind of come out of your thoughts sort of to a present moment, and you kind of find yourself sort of fidgeting with a pocket knife that you always keep on you. As you kind of look down at it, sort of squeeze it for a moment, and kind of pocket it again. Probably repeat that process a few times. How is Casey feeling right now?
think what Casey felt when that bus came trundling down the road and all of her friends poured out of it, like she felt relieved, and I think she felt that for a while. And I think now that things are still again, she's probably still just sitting in the seat next to Maisel, and the things that were drifting through her head when she was sitting there with Anvil and with Hall start floating back through all the things that could happen while she was just sitting there next to the river. And the first thing that jumped into her head when she heard those gunshots, like thinking about which one of her friends it might have been on the receiving end of those bullets. Which one of them might not have come back today. Whether it's one of the 3 here that she cares most about, or anybody else here whose names and stories she is intimately familiar with.
I think in the midst of all of that thought, the one kind of persistent, nagging thought is that if they had lost somebody today, it wouldn't have been the first one. It probably won't be the last. And those thoughts inevitably bring you to who the first one was. You remember the roaring and the beating of the helicopter blades, the sound of the walkie as it crackled, the last words that you all said to each other.
And I think Casey remembers how few her words were in that moment.
All right. The next several hours pass largely quietly as everybody sort of only a few words spoken here and there exchanged between individuals on the bus. But mostly everybody in sort of their own state of kind of pensive reflection or just exhausted fugue state. As you know, periodically stopping throughout the day to sort of switch out drivers as needed. By the time the end of the day comes around, the sun has mostly set by this point. A bit of an early sunset for a couple of reasons. One, it's getting later in the year. But two, being in the mountains, the sun sets a little earlier than it does in other places as the shadow of the mountains engulf the land. But at this point, Shaw is the one driving. And most of you are sort of brought somewhat abruptly out of your sort of thoughtful states as you feel the vehicle coming to a slow stop. Shaw sort of stops and kind of glances over his shoulder. He says, "We're here." He stops. He says, "Hold on. Everybody look alive. I think we might not be alone."
God, fuck.
What do I see from the top?
From the top, you kind of like look out, and you can see. Actually, go ahead, Gavi, and I want you to give me a scout roll here,
Okay.
if you would.
Did I take those binos back?
I could imagine.
You did?
Yes, you did. You did.
Yeah. Still stress?
No, stress is cleared now.
No. Okay.
We talked it out.
Talked it out. Okay, I've got four Well, let's see what I see. I got 1 6,
Okay.
2 3s, and a 2.
Perfect. With that, you sort of like scan ahead, and in the gloom, even within the gloom, Gabby, you're able to see a small group of people, maybe 5 or 6, although it's hard to really tell. There might be more of them hidden in some of the trees, in the deeper gloom that your eyes can't quite pierce. They look like they are taking cover and preparing themselves as they like see the approaching vehicle, but they are definitively there and like I'll give you this
feels
much.
like an ambush.
It actually doesn't feel like an ambush. If anything, it feels like they are taking cover in the wake of an unknown approaching vehicle.
Okay.
So as the vehicle sort of rolls to a stop, Shaw sort of like says, "What should I do?"
I guess stop. I guess. I mean, unless, like, are we here, or is it like, okay?
Yeah, you would have had to, in order, like, at the moment where Shaw spotted them, it would have like, you're where you were trying to get to, but you are like the moment where he spotted them was like, that was in order to, by the time you got to where you needed to go, that was like the furthest away that you could get from them and still see them, basically.
Got it.
So yeah, this is you are at the maximum range possible to be able to even have noticed them.
Okay, and is this like where we think the bunker is, or is
this is the parking lot at the trailhead. This is like the sort of like
Okay.
Yeah, so you are on the ridge right now.
Okay.
Shaw says, "How do you want to play this?"
I always try diplomacy first, but I'd say get as close as you can without spooking them, and then everyone with a weapon get ready for covering fire out the windows.
He nods, and he kind of pulls the bus forward and stops at about the range that he thinks would be. He says, "I don't want to get any closer to this.
All right.
Might provoke somebody."
That's fine.
Did I notice if they were, when I scouted earlier, did I notice if they were armed? The ones that we could see?
At least the ones that are closest to you definitely seem to be.
Okay.
You can in the headlights you can catch kind of like the glint off of like like weapons. Yeah.
All right. I'll keep my position up top, but kind of like keep low, just to not make a target of myself.
So who's stepping out?
Me.
Okay, and Casey.
Casey.
I'll have cover from up here if need be to cover you guys.
Frankie, what are you doing? Are you also stepping out?
Yeah, I guess I'll step out. Is there a way to step out that's not obvious?
Should be an
No.
exit in the back.
Yeah, I suppose
Go
there probably
back.
would be a back exit. Yeah. Okay. All right. Maisel, you step out, and you hear a voice from the darkness as you kind of step forward, say, "That's close enough. What do you want? Who are you?"
Well, we were coming here to make camp, but I guess that's your territory. We're on the move. Well, we were. This was our destination. Didn't know anyone was here.
Why are you coming here?
Probably the same reason they're here.
I'd assume the same reason you're here.
Humor me.
Well, are you part of a death cult?
No.
Have you heard of one?
Maybe.
Then and I assume that we're here for the same reason.
Shit. Okay. We're coming out.
All right.
You see 3 figures stand from behind the cover, and start kind of making their way towards you into like the beam of the headlights. There's a man probably in his early 30s, an older, very sort of like grizzled looking woman, wearing just sort of like a fishing vest, and like over like a thermal like waffle kind of pattern shirt that looks pretty threadbare and like torn up, and there's a younger woman probably about Shaw's age, so like mid to late 20s, sort of curly brown hair that's sort of like up in like a really messy bun. Each of them sort of the older woman is actually holding a bow that is like knocked but not drawn.
Sure.
And the man in front, you can see he has a pistol that he's like slowly holstering as he's walking forward. And then the other woman is holding an older hunting rifle as they walk forward. He looks at your group and at the bus and says, "Look, we're here. We're obviously here for the same thing. Our group's not that big, and from the look of it, assuming your group is what's in that bus, neither's yours. There's probably plenty of room in that bunker and plenty of supplies."
I'm glad that you think that's the case. I agree.
Good. He says, "It's a relief, honestly. We've dealt with our share of..." He just sort of shakes his head and says, "unfriendly people."
Did you happen to pass through Salida?
No, we skirted around it.
Good. You don't go there. It's bad. Really shitty people there.
Says, he kind of holds out a hand and says, "James."
Maisel.
He says, he points to the older woman. He says, "This is Valerie, and this is Anita."
This is Casey. Gabby's up there. And everybody else is in the bus, but I'll introduce you to them as
Sure.
it's situated.
We're keeping a temporary watch here. We've got a scout out checking out the bunker and seeing what the damage is. She's been gone for a bit, but she should be back soon.
We were thinking of making camp here and then scouting in the morning, so...
Well, she should be back in a moment now, so hopefully that'll give us some... Maybe make it so that tomorrow we can jump straight to the planning. Honestly, from what little we've seen already, we could use the extra hands in clearing this place out.
That's what I assumed. Death cult's never a good thing, and...
Yeah, especially these days. Especially in the days before anybody realized exactly how they turn.
Yeah. So... we weren't really excited to take this on ourselves, so I'm glad to have extra hands as well. How many do we have? We have 10? 11?
Somewhere in that vicinity.
Hold on.
I don't remember exactly, but...
Hold on. I have it written down here. Hold on.
I want to say it's like 14, but...
We have 14.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Okay, I'll just say we're 14.
There's 6 of us here, plus our scout. So,
All right.
7 total.
Not a bad...
Blackjack. Casey just would have just quietly said, "Blackjack." 21.
Oh my god.
I'm just saying it's an auspicious number.
As you're sort of standing there having this conversation, you see another figure sort of coming sort of from a different direction, sort of detach themselves from the shadows and sort of start walking up. You can see wearing they're wearing sort of like a heavy sort of jacket, hood up. As they come, he says, "Oh, here's our scout now." Says, "Glad you could make it. I was worried we'd have to send somebody to come get you." You hear a voice come from the sort of hooded figure, just that says, "I told you I'd be fine." Maisel, your heart stops. There's a feeling of recognition as the figure like walks up and pulls down the hood and sort of looks at you, and she freezes. You see Kit.
Yup. I fucking knew you were gonna do this.
She stares at all of you, looking at each of your faces, sort of an expression of shock on her face.
Okay.
And she turns around and runs. And that's where we're gonna stop.
The fuck? You know the meme of the woman, the fuck? Okay. Now okay, that explains.
Oh, you're muted, Scriv.
The ang I can. Scriv is
No
muted, but
wonder.
the angry.
The rage still translates. No wonder you were laying on the memories.
God,
So
I wrote a
sick.
dearly departed
knew
monologue to Kit.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Interesting.
So-
The moment that you came up, like, and you deport, like, you said, like, the hood, I'm like, I know fucking who that is! I know who that is! God damn it!
Okay. So, before we get too off the rails on this, I want to very quickly,
Yeah.
while I'm remembering to do it, I want to do experience. I know in the wake of that, but I want to make sure that we do it. So here we go. We're gonna,
Legit.
oh, it's coming along. All right. So
We did
That's
participate.
experience questions. Yes, everybody participated in this session. So everybody, go ahead and give yourself 1 XP. Did you achieve something important?
God.
Yes.
I think the answer to that
Yes.
is yes. For
A
everybody.
resounding
Yeah.
yes.
Did you learn something?
Also,
We did.
yes.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
We learned
we found
many
a new
things.
location, right?
Yeah.
And
We learned that Kit's alive.
yeah.
All right.
I knew it! I fucking knew it! You
Um,
we didn't see her die!
I
Anyways.
think technically the answer to this one is actually no for this one, which is, did you explore at least one new sector on the travel map? Which is like,
Yeah.
you've traveled through sectors, but I don't think you've explored them.
no.
It was mostly just sorting through them. So we're
Next
not
I
time.
mean, yeah, not this session, I
not
guess.
this session. Yeah.
Okay.
Did your
Okay.
drive, your issue, or any of your relationships make an impact on the session?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yep, my drive
I mean,
and my
yeah,
issue, I think.
Several of you, I think, at least at some point used your drive.
I used my drive to at least keep
Yeah.
one of the
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
Fucking rip him up. Yeah.
Okay. And nobody held Dearly Departed monologue. Would anybody like to do one for next time?
I have a plan for one, but we can talk about to pull back the curtain. I don't know if I can do that by tomorrow, but we'll see.
Sure, fair enough.
Fair enough.
We'll see.
Sure. Okay. We'll play that one by ear then.
Yeah, I'm gonna play mine by ear too now.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
that
Or I mean, if you have an idea, Freeman, that
Not really. I haven't.
Okay.
Yeah.
all right. So, that I think brings us to the end of our episode. We're gonna go. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming. We will see you next time on Tomorrow is Dead. Some quick reminders. Remember to go check out the merch store where we do have some Tomorrow is Dead merch.
Yes,
Nice little
merch.
season 1 collage that has like a bunch of little items and Easter eggs from the first season, which is very cool, done by Bree. Please go ahead and check that out. And if you haven't already, please subscribe, because it helps a lot. So, yeah, go ahead and do all of that. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming and hanging out with us tonight. We will see you next week for Tomorrow is Dead, the next episode. This is episode 4. And if I have it right, yes, the next, filling out of sequence is so weird. The next episode will actually be a special episode, with a totally different cast, as we sort of delve a little bit into Kit's.
What the fuck's going? Yeah, what the fuck's going on with all these people?
Yeah, so
God damn it.
the next I'm going to say the next 2 episodes. I'm just going to go ahead and call it now. The next 2 episodes are going to be sort of that special thing. But we will see you. So I will see you next week. But if not,
we'll see you whenever.
Yeah. But if not, we'll see you the next time you decide to come
folks.
roll with us. Good night and good zone, everyone.